The opening kickoff for the Hall of Fame game will be entrusted to Mark McLaughlin of the Calgary Stampeders. Wally Zattilny and Derek McAdoo are deep for the Hamilton Ticats. Two football teams for the Hall of Fame game, and today's weatherman could make the Environmental Hall of Fame a gorgeous Sunday in Hamilton. And this also happens to be the Ticats' last home game. And a pretty good crowd is on hand as Zattilny returns to the 35.
Well, I think if you look at what Mike Kerrigan has been able to accomplish at the quarterback spot for the Tiger Cats in the last few games, I think people will start to see the Mike Kerrigan, or someone who resembled the Mike Kerrigan of old, someone who can step back and get into sync. And that's what all defenses around this league, when they play the Ticats, want to be able to do, is get him out of that sync.
Tony Champion one way, Earl Winfield the other. Two big reasons for the Stampeders to worry. It's a running play on first down, and a flag comes with it.
Bentley and Warnock making the tackle. Bentley marker on the play.
5 yards the easy way for the Tiger Cats, and I think if you look at a game plan, Dave Beckman stated quite clearly that he wanted to be able to
offside, Calgary number 93, first down repeated.
Run the football. They want to do it in different ways. They want to do with Schrameyer and McAdoo inside and out.
Here's the proof of today's beauty. It's warm, and there is a wind that might play a part. And the sun shines brightly. 1st and 5, and they cut it up inside with McAdoo, and he makes good moves. Derek McAdoo a couple of yards from midfield.
I don't think there's any doubt when you think about the running game in the Hamilton Tiger Cats, you're looking at the guy who carries the load. Probably had to carry too much of the load so far this year. Watch how they cut this, what looks to be a sweep, up inside. Good block from the inside out. He cuts it up, keeps it going. Jason Riley pulls from the offside guard and kicks out the end man.
Winfield watches it go over his head, and so does Junior Thurman there in the coverage. This is an interesting matchup when Hamilton has the ball and tries to run the ball, because the Ticats are worst in the league at rushing the football, yet the Stampeders are worst at defending the run.
So
something's got to give.
Exactly.
Maybe both things have to give. I don't know, but both teams are also intent on running the ball today.
Well, Wally Bono pointed out earlier on today that the one thing that he felt poorly about last week in his game against the Lions is they couldn't stop the run, not so much throughout the game, but specifically in the fourth quarter when it counted.
Movement on the offensive line for the Ticats. This will be illegal motion against Hamilton. Winfield cannot catch it anyway. Flags everywhere as the right tackle for the Ticats was caught moving.
Well, you've got to be careful when you say right tackle, because they flip the tackles.
Legal procedure. Hamilton number 68 declined.
Mike Dirks in that case.
Don't want to accuse Miles Gorell unjustly. We've got to be careful.
If I had proof, I'm not sure I'd accuse him. So a punt for the Ticats as that penalty was declined, as Baldiston sails it over the head of one Stampeder, and Derek Crawford has to reach over his shoulder, and Crawford is out of bounds as another flag comes down.
Well, if you ask your punter to kick to the sidelines, I don't know if you can ask him to do much more than what Baldiston did right there. Forces Crawford to the sidelines, which gives Danny Barrett less room to work with than I think he would have wanted to start the game with. But he may be the reason, and quite probably is the reason, the Stampeders got off to such a good start.
You might call that a needless penalty. Derek Crawford was going nowhere. Baldiston's punt well placed, and there was no reason to hold. The Stampeders thus are back inside their 5-yard line on first down. And they run it out to the 10 on first down. Well, the Stampeders did not win last week against BC. Wally Bono talks about what they have to do to change that today.
Well, why not say if we don't do two things? One, I think, is we have to establish our own running game to take the pressure off our offensive line and the quarterbacks on second and long. And the other thing we have to do is we have to be able to control their wide receivers. If we can do that, I think we'll do a good job on defense.
2nd down and 4 as Barrett has some time and throws it erratically as Derek Crawford was there, but the ball wasn't.
Ball seemed to sail a bit, and with that swirling wind, as you point out earlier, Dave, it's going to affect not only the punters and the kickers, but the quarterback and receivers trying to judge where they can plant and come back. If the wind changes and starts to swirl, it'll push the ball sideways, and that's the effect.
All he had to do was lead Crawford even slightly, and he had the position to make the catch. Brent Matic makes sure it's not 6 points as he kicks the ball through the end zone. The Stampeders muff a punt, and the Ticats are on the board first. The back pages of the CFL rulebook, the Ticats have an option in this situation. A muff ball and then a kick ball in the end zone. Hamilton could have taken the 2 points and received a kickoff, but the Ticats have rather decided to leave the zeros on the scoreboard and take the ball at the 10-yard line. They'll try for a 7-0 lead in this instance. And Kerrigan is sacked back near the 20.
Well, Mitchell Price will try to change that outcome that Hamilton is looking for against Mike Kerrigan. You can see him look right to his right, directing, still not a deep drop. Everything with Hamilton is predicated on either a 3 or a 5-step drop, and he wants to throw the ball when he gets there. The problem is Mitchell Price almost beat him to the point where he was going to set up, and thus taking away any type of pass.
Kerrigan has to look into the end zone or find a play that'll get him there, and he has thrown an interception, and the Hamilton Ticats come away with no points.
Interesting defensive set just before the ball was snapped. Mitchell Price slid over. Ballard steps up like he's going to stunt. See him drop back almost to the middle linebacker position, number 79. Now they've got a 3-man rush. Ballard slides in like he's coming to a stunt and then drops back almost into a middle zone. Kerrigan throws to, and sees what he sees, obviously, but doesn't see Ballard coming from the left side.
Danny Barrett again battling that wind. Alan Pitts made that catch.
Barrett's rolls to his left and takes a pretty good shot. 93 Romel Andrews. There's different ways to get yourself fired up and get yourself feeling comfortable in a football game, and one of them is usually a hit. But usually it's a linebacker or an offensive lineman that says it that way.
Flags are down. Barrett keeps the ball and throws the screen to Andy McVeigh.
Pass is complete to Andy McVeigh.
Neil, to be absolutely certain that we got this rule right, a dribbled ball in the end zone. The Cats had the option of taking the 2 points or the ball at the 10-yard line. Now, normally you say you don't take points off the scoreboard. However, I think most teams would say rather than the safety and the football in their own end of the field, let's have 10 yards for a touchdown.
Well, that's what I would have said, and if I'd been an offensive player on the sidelines, I would have immediately put my helmet on and gone to set up a huddle at the 17-yard line.
However, in this case, Hamilton's decision and the resulting interception means the Ticats do not have a lead that they would have had, albeit a small one of 2 points, if they'd accepted the safety.
And the other thing is, when Hamilton first got the ball, they had some success running it. Both plays from the 10-yard line, they attempted to throw the ball.
Stampeders will play it safe and go for the short yardage run to get the first down. The offense with which Danny Barrett works is Tony Cherry and Andy McVeigh as the running backs. The receivers are Derek Crawford and Alan Pitts outside. Dave Sapungis and Sean Beals line up as the slots. And there's Calgary's offensive line. Doug Davies expected to see some work at center, along with Tom Spolatini. There it is, blitzed. Still on his feet, he gets rid of the ball. McVeigh can't catch it, and that's probably just as well.
Well, that's exceptional effort by Barrett. Barrett is caught with the middle linebacker blitz. You're going to see it right here. He tries to roll a little bit to the backside. Corbin gets a piece of him, but Barrett also knows out in the flat is Andy McVeigh. Thrown only so one person could catch it.
Grover Covington, the greatest sacker the CFL has ever seen. Pete Giftopoulos, who's really playing well, as one of the linebackers, and the secondary has been strengthened lately for Hamilton. Crawford looking for the ball. There are hands on him, and his hands are on the defender, Albert Thomas, but no flag comes down.
And Danny Barrett received some pressure. He was on his way down, throwing off his back foot. Another second or so, or even less than that, he had a better opportunity to complete that ball. But down the field, you were a little subtle when you say hands were on hands. Boy.
Well, Brent Matic hopes for better things, specifically a better snap, which he gets, and the league's leading punter shows why he is that. Whoa. Wally Zatilny may take a while before he gets up. Zatilny was really rocked. The Ticats take the ball. McAdoo is one of 3 men behind Kerrigan, and they're going to punt the ball. Ernie Schrameyer gets a great roll, and the Stampeders cannot get it out to their 5-yard line. And better than the single point that might have come with an even better roll, Schrameyer couldn't have run down and placed it any better.
Well, I think that's a great call. You don't see the quick kick very often. There's a little motion. Schrameyer steps and makes sure he's deep enough. So if there is any penetration, he's not going to get it blocked. And you see Peterson, he's on his horse now trying to get back and recover. Hamilton sets it up with 2 onside people. If the ball had been kicked just a little bit further to one side, they may have had a shot at it. Good offensive strategy. I like that.
47-yard punt, the strange way, shall we say. Barrett throws it up and out of bounds. Otherwise, wide open was Pee Wee Smith, otherwise known as Demetrius.
In a straight drop back situation, see Cherry step up to one side. Ramel Andrews again. He's a thorn in Barrett's side thus far, and just moving with the ball. Pee Wee Smith makes the adjustment, and sometimes you just lose where you are in the field. I don't think even if he could have kept his feet in bounds, he would have had a chance of catching it.
Where the Stampeders are is at their 4-yard line with 2nd down. Barrett hit the goal post.
Barrett's pass is incomplete.
Well, in that situation, he may be lucky that he hit the goal post, because the coverage in the flat area by Stefan Jordan was pretty good, and he made a good jump on the ball when it was released. He was going for that interception. So that may be a blessing in disguise for Danny Barrett.
Ticat front 4 big enough, but they got an even bigger help from the goalpost as a low punt by Matic goes right to Zatilny on the bounce and on the run, and Wally Zatilny gives the Ticats good field position at the 30-yard line as they threaten again to break this scoreless draw with just over 2 minutes to go in the first quarter.
Zatilny not feeling any ill effects from that shot he took in a previous punt return. It's good to have him back in the lineup. Dave Beckman not only sees his talents as a receiver, but when you've got a Zatilny or a Winfield back there returning punts, you've got a double threat.
Their depth at the receiving corps with the 4 good starters they've got in Zatilny, Richard Nurse, and Ken Evrere in backup roles really makes Hamilton dangerous through the air, and it makes you wonder why the Ticats have struggled so much this season with this kind of talent. It doesn't matter in terms of making a playoff spot. If they can come on and keep winning, they're going to be in the playoffs, and from there, who knows?
Well, Dave Beckman said he wanted to come in and not make any drastic changes, just refine some things. Change some ideas, some small ones. You can't make big changes in the middle of the season. And increase the tempo, and I think he's been able to do that. Kerrigan
wanted to throw it, decided against it, and his decision is a pretty good one in terms of the completion eventually at the 25-yard line, though they are short of the first down by going to Lee Knight.
Well, Kerrigan effectively read that blitz, and it ended up being flushed out. The offensive line in the backs picked up the blitz. The halfback Darrell Hall was coming. He had to escape out of there, but he made the right read, and Knight gave him the right adjustment when he did have to leave the pocket.
So let's see if this is the first scoring play of the game. Paulus Baldiston from 32 yards out. Easy for him in terms of distance. The wind might affect the kick to some degree. It's a nice snap as Baldiston booms it right through, and Hamilton takes the lead, and those 3 points will stay right there. 3-0 Ticats. It took until the final minute of the opening quarter for those points to go up on the board and stay there. Baldiston, after kicking the field goal of 32 yards, will now kick off from his 35-yard line. Kind of tough, Neil, to figure out exactly what the wind is doing. At one moment, it looks as though it's right at the backs of the Stampeders in this opening quarter, but it'll swirl enough to help the Ticats at times. Crawford in the kick return, and he's got a couple of men to beat. Derek Crawford might go. It's a foot race now. Crawford inside the 5. What a great punt return by Derek Crawford, one of the CFL's best.
Sonny Gordon makes the tackle.
Crawford's the type of guy that can make coaches have nightmares, not only during a game, but in preparation. And I think you'll see a Calgary team work very hard. Everyone getting a block here. Now he finds the tunnel. There's block there by Hopkins. He misses and breaks the tackle. And as you said, when he gets through that one clump there, it's a foot race. An exceptional return by an exceptional specialist.
It's Sonny Gordon that catches Derek Crawford, so if the Stampeders don't score a touchdown, Gordon has to get the credit. That was a great punt return, even if Crawford had been down at the midfield stripe, because it was set up for at least that much yardage, and he made most of the rest on his own. Barrett to McVeigh, and he has to spin for whatever he gets, which isn't much, if anything.
Calgary giving some movement in their backfield, showing the backs going one way, then countering back. But I think you'll see 64. Tim Lorenz break through right there. He's been blocked. He gets off the ground and back up and makes the play. Good hustle by Lorenz.
So 2.5 yards to go, and it's second down. And Barrett will try to throw it. McVeigh for the touchdown. Andy McVeigh had to wait a minute, made sure he had the ball.
For the Stampeders touchdown.
A little tougher to get in than it was to get down there. Crawford's return sets them up in the second down play. You see McVeigh release to the left. He doesn't have to block a linebacker. He comes across the face of the formation and then waits. Corbin sees him coming, but doesn't see him until he's past his face, and Barrett reads him all the way.
A touchdown pass for Danny Barrett on the heels of Derek Crawford's 81-yard kick return. Sonny Gordon's saving tackle didn't save anything in the end, as Calgary has a 7-3 lead. The Stampeders have a chance to add to their lead because of this block punt.
And right up the middle, there was no one laying out. That pressure came up from Spallettini, so they had to redirect or take someone's attention away from blocking inside out, meaning the two up backs. That's their responsibility. They must have outmanned them.
Tony Spallettini blocked the punt, and Junior Thurman recovered it, and Danny Barrett looks downfield for Alan Pitts. It is incomplete, and a dangerous pass for Barrett to throw. The coverage was good.
He's got Mark Dennis and Corbin in there. He's trying to string it in there pretty tight. Corbin lays out, and I think he tipped the ball, and Dennis was coming from the other side. So I think you can see the mobility that this Tiger Cat linebacker crew is showing us. When the ball is thrown, they can get there and get there quickly.
Stampeders try to convert the big play on the Hamilton punt into points. Barrett lofts it up, and there's a flag down as the pass is incomplete. It looks as though interference is going to be called against the Ticats.
It'll be called on Daryl Corbin. He was pulling on the jersey like a drawstring, and the referee saw it plainly as can be.
So it's first and goal, Calgary, with the pass interference call. The ball just outside the 5.
Hamilton number 38, first down Calgary.
The receiver gets a jump on you going downfield. You want to just break his stride somehow. And when you do that, you just want to make sure that the refs aren't looking.
Cherry goes in motion. McVeigh goes with the football, and he gets close to the goal line on second effort.
Well, that front surge by Spolatini at center, Blanchard and Palumbo, it's almost like a wedge when they run that fullback up in there tight. And if there's a possibility, there might be a small seam. If not, just use the momentum of the weight up front.
Second and a yard for a second Calgary touchdown. They'll give it to Cherry, and he goes in for the touchdown.
Carrier for the Stampeders touchdown.
Well, you hit it up inside, and then you hit on a bit of an angle, and this play allows Cherry to be moving laterally. And when he sees a seam, they've got the extra lineman in there blocking. He sees it, wastes no time. Watch him cut right here. Back up inside Palumbo. Not have to go far, and doesn't have to be fancy.
These are 2 touchdowns by the Calgary offense, but you saw how they happened. One with a great kickoff return, and the other with a blocked punt and then a penalty. Eddie Barrett will take the credit for it. The Stampeders don't quite care how they scored as long as they have this 14-3 lead. Cherry looked as though could have gone easier to the outside here. There was nobody else to get him, but he cut it up inside, needing only a yard, and Tony Cherry scores a touchdown that puts Calgary ahead with some breathing room. Now let's check on a couple of more Hall of Fame inductees with Neil Lumsden.
Thank you, Dave. Marv, I look at your career and I figure, what did you have more fun at? Being an all-star defense or an all-star in offense?
Well, I think being a wide receiver and being able to catch touchdown passes is the most thrilling. But once I got injured and I had to go to defense, I learned to enjoy that too.
You played them off very well in both positions. And Jim, football has taken you from the professional ranks into coaching. Where has that taken you to coaching?
Well, right now I'm over at Kent State University, and I've left coaching. Neil, I'm there as the assistant athletic director, and I enjoy my job very, very much.
Gentlemen, you're both very deserving. Congratulations, and it was a pleasure to watch both of you and play with one of you.
Oh, thank you, man. Wally Zatilny returns to the 44-yard line. A couple of greats from the Argos past. Marv Luster and Jim Corrigal. Luster, of course, a Montreal Alouette as well. Hall of Fame weekend in Hamilton, and you'll hear more about all 5 of the inductees. The 4 who are here in person, and former Saskatchewan General Manager Ken Preston in a halftime feature. Straumeyer hit by Darrell Hall after the ball sailed over his head. As the Ticats are in need of some offensive consistency now. This harkens back to their troubled times earlier this season. They've moved the ball much better in recent weeks than this, and they now try to rediscover that. The kind of offense which helped them win such a crucial game against Ottawa last week. Great catch by Estelle over the middle.
Richard Estelle hits up the seam. Calgary linebackers come, look for that extra pressure. They're trying to throw Kerrigan off. Kent Warnock, one of the guys who is known for his pressure. Riley stays in his face, and that's a pretty good battle. That kind of battle will take place all day. It's not just bumping each other and going away. It's going to be a fight. And they realize that the Ticat offensive line has to be that tenacious if they're going to protect their quarterback.
Champion one-on-one with Hopkins, and Tony Champion gets all he can there, going to the 33-yard line. And that's close to another Hamilton first down.
Isn't it typical, just when you think Hamilton is started to slide back into what they used to look like. They hit up the seam, they throw to Champion. When they can highlight their skilled people, their receivers, and we're looking at one of the better in the league, Tony Champion,
and they
they're
have
awfully tough.
They have to go both places too. I think you would agree. It's easy to concentrate on throwing the ball outside when you've got Champion and Winfield there, but the Ticats can be just as effective inside, and overall much more effective when Kerrigan is looking both ways. Second and short, just a little over a yard for a first down. They stack the backfield. Kerrigan keeps it and throws it out of bounds. Now they have the option of going on third down, which you would think is in their minds before that kind of a play is called on second down.
Well, that play was just completely erased by the Calgary defense. Downfield, Greg Peterson at safety took the deep man. Ron Hopkins up front. They just did a great job of defending that play action. Neither one of the defenders stepped up when they saw the fake handoff. It's called doing your homework and being prepared and reading the keys.
Well, here's 3rd and 1. No thought of a field goal. Schraummeyer, McAdoo behind Kerrigan. Kerrigan himself, and he gets nice and low and furrows for the first down, which delights the owner of the Ticats, David Braley.
I think as an owner, you don't know what's going to happen in game day, but in the last few weeks after the coaching change was made, you really have to wonder if you'd made the right decision. I think to this point, Dave Beckman shows that he might, and I'm sure he does, want a shot at that head coaching position next year.
Short one to McAdoo, and he had 3 Stampeders one way, so he was smart enough to go the other. And again, get close to a first down. He'll be a couple of yards away on second down.
Well, if you can keep McAdoo fresher, and I don't mean that you shouldn't get the ball thrown to him and handed to him, but if you utilize, and this goes back to what we were talking about earlier, the other parts of your offense that are very valuable, he's a lot more valuable, McAdoo is, in the fourth quarter.
2nd and 2, and Champion with the first down, sneaking inside the 15-yard line. This has been a Tiger Cat tradition over the past years that a Hamilton team doesn't necessarily start well, but toward the end of the season, the Ticats usually hit the playoffs in fine stride, and doesn't always help them at the gate all season long. In fact, this being their last home game, the team can keep playing well and nobody can come to watch it in Hamilton anyway. But in terms of bidding for a Grey Cup title, the Ticats may be a factor in the East if they can continue on what they built the last couple of weeks.
Well, again, and you look at the depth chart, it's not that different from last year's team that lined up in the Grey Cup, especially on offense. A couple of changes, but a couple of changes isn't enough to throw a wrench like it had happened earlier on this year. This is a very powerful offensive team if they're executing and on a roll.
2nd and 8, Kerrigan once and then goes to the corner, and it is incomplete. Winfield, the intended receiver, and Thurman played him very tight. Junior Thurman having a little trouble getting onto his feet. I think you'll agree this is fine coverage.
Oh, this is excellent coverage. See, Winfield's widening out. Thurman widens with him. There's not a lot of room for Winfield to move to go to the ball if it was thrown to the outside. Thurman had great position on the inside, really the only place where he has to catch it and where Kerrigan could throw it.
Ticats lining up for another Osbaldiston field goal, and he makes another one. He is 2 for 2. The Ticats are down by 8 now. Osbaldiston had a lot to do with a Hamilton win over Edmonton 2 weeks ago, and he gets the Ticats a little closer to Calgary now. Barrett to Pitts has put the Stampeders at the Hamilton 18-yard line with a first down. That ball had no chance of being completed when it left Barrett's hand. Here's Alan Pitts, who caught the last Danny Barrett pass.
Closing in very quickly, 16 more yards. Becomes an official member of the 1,000-yard club.
Which has a rather large membership this year.
It is, and the top 3 are slots, which is, I find it a little bit interesting.
Another great night for Darrell Smith last night in the Toronto Argos 59-15 romp over Saskatchewan, and Smith set a record for touchdowns in one season. Touchdown passes received, that is. 212 yards, 3 touchdowns, 19 TDs on the year. There's a flag down, and McVay can't handle a pass from Danny Barrett.
It was the same play they ran near the goal line earlier on, where McVay sneaks out of the backfield when his responsibilities as far as blocking are removed when the linebackers drop.
A break for the Stamps as Hamilton is offside on the play.
Offside, defense, second down repeated.
File that one away in the memory bank. An offside penalty that could lead to a Calgary touchdown. Otherwise, the Stampeders would have been trying for 3 points. Now they have another chance for the major. Barrett faked the draw, ran outside. He can crawl in if he wants. He'll run in instead. Touchdown.
As he would describe, soars into the end zone and around.
Well, a terrific play and very well executed. It fooled the men it was supposed to fool.
Watch the fake. The fake draws Corbin's tackle. McVay does exactly what he wants to, and even if it isn't a great fake, he blocks that gap and takes Corbin's pursuit upfield away. He might have been a part of that play if he could have gotten through, but McVay's block allows Barrett a little bit of a hold on the inside, and his quickness takes him to the corner and in the end zone.
Well, this touchdown can be credited to the offense, although the drive did start from near midfield because of Derek Crawford's kick return, but Danny Barrett moved the offense from there and went the rest of the way himself.
Now the ball just goes on that hip for the split second. Just a little bit more advertising as far as trying to sell that draw fake. Showing no effects of that broken ankle that he suffered earlier on this year.
Hamilton would like to help itself. He has to start moving the ball and scoring points to do that. This is McAdoo. Corralled about the 37-yard line as Calgary continues to excel on special teams.
We've talked about Calgary's special teamwork returning, but we pointed out very briefly how successful they've been in coverage, and that was another good example. Wicklum works down. He's a linebacker. He's being mismatched, and he's also being grabbed pretty effectively. Nice dance step, a little move and a twist and a shake. That was nice.
Here's McAdoo. Nice spinning moves, but
complete to McAdoo.
he'll be about 5 yards away from a first down.
Dave Beckman pointed out that one of his concerns going into this game was his special teams. The lack of productivity, the lack of field position, both on punt returns and especially on kickoff returns.
Call it 2nd and 4 as Kerrigan looks outside. Champion goes over one shoulder and then the other and can't get it with Hopkins covering him. And there doesn't seem to be much room for Tony Champion downfield. The only completions they've been able to make to him because of Ron Hopkins' good coverage have been the short ones.
Exactly. You know, the other thing I think that we should point out is the pressure up the field by Kent Warnock. You don't have to sack the quarterback, but if you get close enough, as you see Hopkins working in close coverage to Champion, you make the quarterback release the ball a little bit higher. That ball was overthrown. Maybe because of Kent Warnock's push up field, Kerrigan had to change the release.
The Stampeders have 10 men rushing and 2 back for this punt. Pee-wee Smith directs traffic and says, "It's yours, Derek," and Crawford knows what to do with it. There's a penalty marker on the play. Crawford's return to the 42 otherwise. With a minute and a half, 1:36 to be exact, left in a first half that has been kind to Calgary and not to Hamilton.
Against us, I guess. Huh?
Should be no yards then.
Legal block. Calgary number 32. First down, Calgary.
So important our special teams to the Stampeders that they don't like to see those flags hinder them.
No, most teams can be satisfied with just a couple yards return, but when you get it broken up field for 15, 20 at a time, not only do you bring it back to the point where the ball was caught, but you tack on some more yards. So you're in this situation, it takes away, not completely, the chance of getting down possibly and scoring some points before the half.
Stamps have 3 men wide to the left. They go the other way and much too high. Alan Pitts has his legs taken out from under him by Albert Thomas, but that pass was way over his head.
Well, that matchup took place a number of weeks ago when Albert Thomas was a Calgary Stampeder. These two have practiced together against one another a number of times, so I'm sure there's some familiarity, but I don't know, when it comes to game time, things can change.
I guess you never want to assume that Pitts can't catch a ball. He is so tall, but that one, no chance of being completed. Second down, Pitts flanks to the left this time. Barrett looking to set up a screen. He won't do anything. He's hit rather late by Daryl Corbin, and Barrett is complaining about that. Danny Barrett right in the officials' faces, and he wants a penalty flag. He's got the helmet off, and he is really hot. Danny Barrett wondering why no call for a late hit on Daryl Corbin.
Well, he should be upset to begin with because of the good play made by Pete Giftopoulos. He flies in there. He's very deceptive in his quickness, and he gets closer. He starts to accelerate. Barrett's down, and that shot right there to the head is what Danny Barrett is complaining of. But let's not overlook the great defensive play by Giftopoulos.
Ticats come for Brent Matich's punt, and the wind takes it sideways, still in play. Is it touched? If it is, it's live, but the flag comes down. I don't think there was no yards if he touched it the first time, but obviously there was if he didn't. Wally Zatilny, the punt returner.
Penalty marker on the play.
Whatever, it's going to be marched off. That's a tough penalty under the circumstances.
No yards. Calgary number 44. First down, Hamilton.
That's a tough penalty every time. 15 yards for no yards. Has he touched this ball?
It sure looks like it hit his foot.
Well, I guess the ruling is that Sapungis was still within the 5-yard zone.
Well, and it tells you Zatilny's reaction. You bet he touched it because he was in a big hurry to get back on that ball.
So the punt wasn't great. The penalty hurt even more, and it's a net of only 5 yards for Calgary. McAdoo has nowhere to go. Kerrigan for Champion, and Hopkins knocks it down. It's still loose, and now finally incomplete.
Well, that ball sailed a little bit, and Hopkins closed some distance. That was initially there for Champion, and I know that his heart stopped when he tipped that ball. I think he wanted to knock it down. Instead of knocking it down, it went back up, and he can see himself going for it, but also giving Champion that second shot at it.
Yeah, it almost might have been better for him to play volleyball with that and
scoop it over.
Knock it over his head and Champion's the way it was going instead of trying to redirect the ball. It is third down, and the Tiger Cats want to talk about this. The fans want them to go for it.
And right now it looked like they were going to go for it because their offensive set's in there.
Champion takes some time to discuss with an official the coverage he's getting from Hopkins. David Beckman takes this time to decide what to do.
Interesting situation.
Well, they're going to go for it.
This is, I think, as a coach, when you make this call to go for it, after you make the call, when your offense is coming up to the line of scrimmage, you turn around and look away.
You're down 15. A field goal would reduce it to 12, less than 2 touchdowns. But they want the major if they can get it. Winfield's got it.
The Ticat offensive line did an extremely good job of creating the pocket. And watch when he looks to his right, he'll step a little bit to his left. Wide open. No one even close to giving him a problem as far as looking downfield. And he leads Winfield and the coverage. Great throw to Earl Winfield.
Osbaldiston makes the convert. That's the true sense of a gamble in football. You lose if it doesn't work, most definitely, but you can win if it does work. And the Ticats jump right back into this game because of this play and the decision that preceded it.
If that doesn't pump you up, nothing will. He's got to get maybe a little more excited than that.
Well, he told us about the decision to run the fancy play, the third down fake in his debut at Toronto, which got the Tiger Cats back in that game, but said he really worried if it didn't work, he was going to be criticized heavily for running a gadget play on third down and inches. Here, I think he might have been criticized again if he had disdained the 3 points, but getting 7 was more important.
Well, I watch him on the sidelines, and I think people consider a hands-on coach as one who wears a headset and always knows what's going on. He's a hands-on coach. He's on touching people, talking to them, congratulating them. Oh, he's everywhere. And I think the players appreciate that.
Ticats now get another gift of a single point on the kickoff, as somehow the Stampeders didn't have anybody back there. It wasn't a particularly long kickoff, but nice and well placed. A flag comes down now to add to the matters being discussed by Wally Buono. That's a rather significant point, too, cutting the margin to 7 points. And with 37 seconds left on the clock and the Ticats having used their timeout, I'm not sure why Derek Crawford conceded that point.
That's a huge point. It'd be tough to say huge this early in a football game, but...
Objection of conduct. Hamilton, number 41. First down, Calgary.
41, objection of conduct.
Peter Buchanan, the backup linebacker, gets called. Obviously, he vented some of his frustrations, but it cost his football team dearly.
The score is 21-14 for the Stampeders. The single point took a while to get on the scoreboard here, so just to be safe, we took a while to put it on your screen, but obviously Hamilton gets that point because the ball stayed in the end zone and was not run out and did not go through the end zone.
Well, I said that penalty by Buchanan could have cost their team. The way Calgary's going to run out the clock, it really doesn't make a lot of difference, except it's a situation where you don't want your football players to lose control and focus on what's going on, and that is losing control. You can stay pumped up about things and get excited.
What was going on in the kickoff? Did the Stampeders think the Ticats were going to try a short one and
they did have
weren't as deep as they should have been?
They had their kickoff team moved up. They had what could be considered a short kickoff return team in, which also moved their deep men up, and the ball was hit like a line drive, bounced over their head.
Well, we'll remember that point if this game should be decided by 1 point either way. It's a 7-point Calgary lead at the half. Hamilton's kickoff to open the second half is taken by Derek Crawford, and he's down at the 43-yard line of the Calgary Stampeders, who bring a 21-14 lead into this third period of play, and Danny Barrett brings his offense onto the field. The biggest play of the game right now, the game that has made it as close as it is, a third down gamble for a touchdown to Earl Winfield late in the first half. There's what the quarterbacks have done. Kerrigan has thrown it more often, completed more passes for more yards. Touchdowns, though, even at 1 apiece. Stampeders' strength is left. Cherry runs that way and spins back over the 50-yard line.
Yopopoulos makes the tackle.
All right, Stampeders showing 3 receivers to run one side, the wide side of the field, and then trying to pop Cherry through that guard tackle gap. I think when you watch Tony Cherry run, he's as effective and into the game when you see him pop through there and start that spinning motion. It gets him about 3 or 4 more yards every time.
Tony Spolatini is in for Andy McVeigh. Second down, the ball just ahead of the 50-yard line. Second about 3. Barrett. And he incomplete pass to Tony Cherry. Seemed to be set up, and Barrett just threw it too hard, too high, not very well.
It was there, you're right. I mean, everything, they had the quick fake to keep the linebacker from sprinting out with Cherry quickly. Those are the ones you want to be able to complete, especially when you're close to midfield and you have an opportunity with a few more first downs to get yourself into scoring position.
Right now it looks as though the wind is going to hurt Brent Matich's punt. If he waits a while, though.
Oh, he's going to have to wait a while because I think they're short a man. Well, I don't think, I know.
Cherry is late coming on. The Tiger Cats are quick to point that out. And the penalty has to be taken by Calgary. Which, if the wind keeps blowing in Matich's face, will really hurt.
Time count foul. Number 4, Calgary. Still 3rd down.
Gentlemen, we need to back up in here, please. When there's a change on the sidelines and someone gets hurt, someone has to notify one of the coaches that there is a change in the special teams. Cherry is normally not one of the upbacks, and obviously someone didn't go to him and say, look, someone's out.
Matich fumbled it and got a bad kick away right up the middle. Pretty good bounce, though. Zatilny with a flag coming down on the play. There's a flag back where the putter let go of the ball, too.
Made the tackle.
Wally Buono wanting an explanation. Let's see if we can get one, too. And Dave Beckman as well.
Contacting the kicker. 37 Hamilton. No yards. Calgary. 3rd down the field.
Well, the contacting the kicker situation, if it's a bad snap and he moves out of being the kicker, I believe now you can go after him. I don't know. I question that call.
Well, I'll question this one. At that point,
it looked like he
touches it. They're 5 yards away, and then they proceed to tackle him. Anyway, they'll punt it again from the 50-yard line, the line of scrimmage. And the Stampeders have had trouble today punting the ball. Matich again. Same thing. Another flag. Oh, I'm living my life over again. Play-by-play here.
Toner made the tackle. Penalty marker on the play.
I just, you know, that no yards penalty.
Well, it's 15 yards, and as we've been saying for years, you can rough a guy and get no more punishment than that.
Well, here's the bobble snap. It's a little bit low, but I think Matich has to be able to field that.
Well, 4.5 yards away. 15 yards is the penalty for that. And let's not forget that a no yards penalty helped Hamilton late in the first half on a touchdown drive. McAdoo's going to throw it. Winfield can't catch it.
McAdoo's pass is incomplete.
Well, when you have success with a sweep or a particular play, as McAdoo has had, not a lot of, but some success, you're looking for pursuit. Everyone getting to the football, getting to the point of attack. And then you just pull up and throw the ball. But the coverage was downfield. There wasn't an awful lot to throw to.
The Stampeders getting messed up in their pass coverage. Somehow McAdoo was wide open.
Well, in different defensive schemes, it's not uncommon to see running backs hook up with linebackers. And in this case, McAdoo is hooked up with 37 Finley. You see Finley just behind here. The stumble slows him down as far as his pursuit. But that is a matchup a lot of offensive teams try to get.
I guess that's why he was wide open. McAdoo just ran away from Finley, who stumbled and couldn't keep up with him, and That's going to be the case every time that one-on-one matchup is there. Ball through the arms of Estelle, and the Stampeders had a chance to pick that one off. Hamilton 7 points down with a chance on this second down play to get closer to a tie situation or maybe even the score right here.
Time, Michael.
This is another case, I think, of David Beckman staying with Mike Kerrigan. He took him a long time to click in this game, but he has one touchdown pass, looking for another. Short one, and that couldn't be caught by Lee Knight. And there didn't seem much wrong with that pass. Knight just couldn't corral it. I don't know that he'd have been able to get loose for a first down anyway. So Paul Baldiston comes in and tries for another field goal.
You know, I think it's only fair to leave your quarterback in because what he sees is a maturing of a defense as the game goes on. He starts to become accustomed, and you know, his football knowledge is extensive. Speaking about Mike Kerrigan, and he knows what's going to happen. So it takes a little bit of time. He just can't come out bang and be successful all the time. Sometimes there's a minor maturing process. That's why you got to leave a guy in.
Osbaldiston rattles off his third field goal of this game, and the Tiger Cats, who were down by 15, now find themselves trailing by 4 points.
There'll be a change at the fullback spot for the Stampeders. You can see Andy McVeigh experiencing some problems. He has a jam neck. He won't be back, and Spallettini will be in.
It'll change the strategy for Hamilton on the kickoff return. They kick it low and continue to kick it away from Ron Hopkins, which means kicking it to Derek Crawford. And there you go, just your average kick return for the Stampeders, and they've got the ball near their 48-yard line. Put the ball at the 47, which is good field position for Danny Barrett. There's Tony Spallettini in the game in place of Andy McVeigh. Now we'll change it back to the 48-yard line for the line of scrimmage. All sorts of time for Barrett. Pitts with the catch. And Alan Pitts, as he likes to do, comes back to the ball and keeps going in that direction, trying to swing around to the outside and make more yards. He couldn't there, but he has enough for the first down.
With the Calgary sends Spallettini to the flat, which takes part of the coverage and opens up that lane and allows Pitts to come back, work back to his quarterback, give him a better target, and also results in a successful pass.
He needs one more yard for 1,000 in the season, does Alan Pitts. And I think he probably just gave back the yard by running the way he did. Here's Cherry running the way he can when he's in full flight to the 25-yard line. First down Stamp. Biggest rushing play of the day for Tony Cherry and the Stampeders.
Fullback and halfback working hand in hand. And usually it's the fullback delivering the block or the blow, and Spallettini taking the linebacker and just making sure he's got him to the outside. Spallettini blocks Giftopoulos, gets enough of him so he can't make an arm tackle on Cherry.
Hamilton's 26. Calgary first down. Barrett again, well protected. Fine catch right at the 1-yard line by Pitts. He took a hit, and that's 1,000 with some to spare. Good catch by Alan Pitts.
Boy, you watch how he comes across, and those arms of his go out and in and snare that ball. At the same time, he makes his break. He's open now. He's preparing for that hit. Aware of what's going on around you and being able to focus on the ball.
And he knew that the hit was coming too and had to worry about catching the ball, which was a difficult catch even without a defender there. Pitts is over 1,000 and gaining on Don Narcisse and the others now as he continues to play this game. Darrell Smith at the top. Craig Ellis number 2, and Ellis is playing with Edmonton today against BC. Here's Cherry diving for the touchdown, and don't the Stampeders answer nicely the Hamilton field goal with a major score. Calgary now leading 27-17. A convert will make it 28.
The drive resulting in a loop and a jump by Cherry, just a back roll. They teach you this in grade 6 gym. Back up on your feet. Barrett did it nicely by combining different plays, using different people. Use all your weapons.
A 5-play, 62-yard touchdown drive for the Stampeders again. They started from good field position, and now they botch a convert. And the Tiger Cats tried in vain to pick it up and run the other way for 2 points. So what a messy kicking game Calgary has had.
That's for you, Chili Mac. If you're watching, you should be
here today, but the Stampeders are leading. Cherry searching for some room. Where's the ball? It looks like it's on the ground. It looks like it's Hamilton's ball. And that compounds the Ron Hopkins decision to bring that ball out of the end zone. Could have been 1 point. Now it should be 7.
I pointed out a little bit earlier, when Cherry spins, sometimes he's very effective because he breaks tackles. But when you do spin, sometimes you can expose the ball. And as he's spinning back around, the ball's pulled free. Corbin ended up with it. That's just getting to the football. And Corbin has done that a lot.
Turnovers are even. The Hamilton turnovers have been more significant. But this might swing back in their direction now if they can convert this one. And Champion over Hopkins for the touchdown. And that's the first time they've been able to beat Ron Hopkins with anything deep to Tony Champion.
And it wasn't easy by any stretch. The ball has to be perfectly thrown. Hopkins is in the right position. He starts inside now. He begins to fade. The ball's gone now. You can see how Champion begins to react. Makes the catch and then delivers a blow in the ambulance.
Cats are down by 5 and now by 4 as Paulus Baldiston adds the extra point. 28-24 for Calgary. Ron Hopkins brings the ball out. Cherry fumbles it, and then Hopkins is beaten by that man, Tony Champion, for a Hamilton touchdown.
Again, a note where Champion started to the inside as he came upfield and then began to widen. It does two things. It gives your quarterback a place to throw the ball, and it also gives you some space for natural separation from the coverage. The coverage was there on the inside, and if he's running stride for stride with you, the only way you can open it up is to move laterally sideways. And that's why that play was so well executed, and the coverage wasn't bad either, but not good enough.
Well, let's see what the Tiger Cats want to do with this kickoff now. Nothing has really worked for Hamilton as Calgary has been bringing the kickoffs back to good effect. Away from Hopkins again, one bounce to Crawford. He fumbles it, which is going to help Hamilton, you would think, unless Derek Crawford finds some room, and he will, to the 50. The score here in the third quarter is Calgary 28 and Hamilton 24. More good field position from another good kickoff return. The Stampeders at their 50-yard line. Ball batted down at the line. And Barrett's getting all sorts of time to throw the ball. That time it didn't help him, though.
Well, Calgary's going to send receivers to one side, try to clear it out. There goes the running back, 27, Spallettini. He's going to let the linebackers drop and then just go into that voided area. Ramel Andrews just gets up, knocks the ball away, heads up defensive play.
The crowd rising in unison to help Hamilton's defense on 2nd and 10, Calgary from the 50. And that ball is intercepted. Jordan for Hamilton is in Calgary territory, still on his feet as the whistle brings the play to a halt. Stephen Jordan picks it off, and turnovers now starting to haunt the Stampeders.
Well, the coverage is tight to begin with, and you can almost see when Barrett went to throw the ball, he really tried to hum it in there. He had to, because there wasn't a whole lot of room. But he needed a bigger gun than he had.
An ill-advised pass, I think you have to say after looking at the replay.
Yeah, either that or you throw the ball outside to where the receiver can move to it.
Where he threw it, Jordan intercepted it because he had better position than the receiver. Kerrigan Flips it out to McAdoo. That was handy. And Derek McAdoo is taken down about the 41-yard line. He gains when the Ticats were about to lose.
Jordan's third interception of the year, and couldn't come at a better time for Dave Beckman.
Get off, get after him, here we go.
McAdoo gained 4. It is second down, a little over 5, let's say 5.5 yards. Again, Kerrigan in trouble. This time he finds Ernie Schrammeier. Nice cut by Schrammeier to find open room, and a great block gets him into the clear with Peterson having to bring him down at the 10.
With Kerrigan's size, it shows it's tough to bring him down. You can disrupt him with an arm, but you can't throw him down, and you watch him just shrug off. Johnson right here changes the ball, puts it back in his right hand, and then delivers it. If that isn't presence, I don't know what is.
30-yard gain, Neil. 30 yards when, again, they might have lost, and McAdoo goes halfway to the touchdown with a 5-yard run on first down. Ernie Schrammeier, a fullback who has become a starter under David Beckman, and he might have been taken down with a short gain had he not cut back to the middle and then to the other side of the field with some great running.
Well, the great running, and he's rewarded with people downfield. Watch, the block is going to be in the left of your screen right there. Richard Estelle.
Second and goal for the Tiger Cats. Nobody in the backfield. Kerrigan's going to throw it up, and touchdown. Hamilton leads. McAdoo. First time since an early Paulus Ballaston field goal in the first quarter that Hamilton has been in front. And turnovers have done it.
Right to the flat immediately. And Kerrigan looks to him. He's got 2 receivers to that side. Depending on what the coverage shows him, see 37 Finley had to get to that flat position from his outside linebacker spot. All he has to do is hesitate for a second, and McAdoo's open. And unfortunately, McAdoo's rewarded by a fall on that pavement that's just outside the artificial turf here.
That's the pavement that's slightly softer than the turf.
Yeah, that's just a little bit.
Is this how he hurt himself?
Right there.
Well, some say there are reasons not to do that, and if there are, this is one of them.
Well, there's a change of elevation, though it's not an awful lot from the turf to the pavement. And he could have come down after that jump on a bit of an angle and put some extra pressure on, unnecessary pressure on his knee.
Well, it's been an eventful third quarter, which opened with Calgary ahead 21-14. The score now reads Hamilton 31 and Calgary 28.
Dave Beckman had said one of the bonuses coming into this game in the last few games is the players. The consistency. The guys haven't had to go in and out because of injury. If you can start the game week in, week out with the same starting 24, you're going to be better because you get a chance to work longer with the same group. When you have to platoon players in and out because of injury, it takes away some of your consistency and your continuity.
Hamilton's only problem lately has been that after you score a touchdown, you have to kick off. And that gives the Stampeders a chance to have Derek Crawford run it back, maybe a long way, or even if he doesn't break it into the open, he's going to get to the 50-yard line or very close to it and set things up for Danny Barrett. Under 3 minutes, in just less than 3 minutes, the Ticats have struck for 2 touchdowns that have put them into the lead. Well, McAdoo was 100% coming into the game, according to the head coach. Not quite that now. One more try to kick off, and Osbaldiston's just going to keep putting it in the same place, and Crawford's going to keep doing the same thing with it. Running it back to the 50-yard line. And farther this time, the Hamilton 50. Well, it all started with that Paul Osbaldiston field goal early in the game. Hamilton led 3-0, but then the Stampeders took the lead and kept it for a while. Andy McVeigh, a short pass. Tony Cherry, a shorter run in the second quarter for 14-3. Hamilton kicked another field goal. The Stampeders answer with a Danny Barrett touchdown. Then the Cats got into the end zone with Earl Winfield on a third down play. We'll continue the summary after looking at this play. 21-14 was the halftime score. 21-17 early in the third quarter after another Osbaldiston field goal as Cherry goes to the 40-yard line. Looks like another Calgary first down. Osbaldiston opened the third quarter scoring. Calgary answered with another touchdown. Cherry, but missed the convert. Then got the point back on the kickoff. Then the Tiger Cats went to work because of Calgary turnovers. Champion a touchdown pass after Tony Cherry fumbled. Derek McAdoo a touchdown pass after Danny Barrett threw an interception. McAdoo being treated. Stampeders first down at the Hamilton 40. Cherry running. Outside. Wilkerson missed him. Dawson gets him. First down, Stampeders. They try to answer back quickly and regain the lead. And Tony Cherry's having himself a pretty good day in addition to his 2 short touchdowns.
Well, Cherry gets an opportunity to get into that secondary. Outstanding block by the right guard, Mike Palumbo, who just took the pursuing linebacker and put him down.
Barrett will throw on first down, pumps and goes deep. Crawford is tackled or tripped at least. They're all over the place. Crawford was on his way to the ball, and Albert Thomas had fallen down and knocked Crawford down.
Crawford moved to the inside and then broke back out, and when he did do that, Thomas trying to make the adjustment, they get their legs tangled right there. See, as he starts to go back out and run the corner.
Hamilton number 8. First down, Calgary.
So that should be as good as a touchdown for the Stampeders, though they still have to put the ball into the end zone from a yard out with 3 cracks at it. I wonder if Cherry's going to get another 1-yard touchdown run. He's in the middle behind Danny Barrett. He's got the ball and he's got a touchdown. Tony Cherry for the 3rd time, and Calgary's back in front.
Well, that full house backfield has got to change. Matt Finley, number 37, the linebacker, is taking McVeigh's spot. Not as much as experience, so they'll go behind Spallettini. Cherry makes the read. Good block by Spallettini. Kicks his man out. Fairbanks, Palumbo on that one side. And almost made it look easy.
Just like that, and we are repetitive, I know, but a touchdown drive started by good field position from a kickoff return, and the Stampeders don't trail for very long. 35-31, no trouble in that convert, which is reason for celebration, along with the Tony Cherry touchdown run. We enter the 4th quarter. The Stampeders lead by 4. The Tiger Cats have 2nd and long from the Calgary 37-yard line. 2nd and about 20 yards to go. Kerrigan from the shotgun, apparently. No, they direct snap to Schrameyer, and he'll get some yards, but not enough. Right in the middle of the goalpost, though, if they want to try for 3. And Osbaldiston is coming on. Ernie Schrameyer making his presence felt again.
Just a direct snap, almost like a punt. Kerrigan showing as if it's a drop back, and the offensive line creating that cross block situation. Schrameyer gets upfield and gets 10 of it back, but in much better position to kick a field goal.
Osbaldiston missed his last one, which was a 55-yard attempt the other way. The wind is with him here, and he doesn't need it anyway. It is good, and now it's a 1-point game. Almost should be a 1-point game the way we've seen singles scored and not scored here. Missed convert, a couple of singles either way on kickoffs. We've heard about Mike Kerrigan's thoughts on David Beckman, the coach. Here's Beckman on Kerrigan.
Well, you know, all we've tried to do with Mike is help him change the tempo so that he doesn't have all those things to think about, and also to keep things in a vein that he has them all in front of him. And we all knew what type of quarterback he is. He's proven that in the Canadian Football League. Again, we have set priorities. What do we want to accomplish with him? And we've worked along those lines. If you think that that I gave him a new lease on life, he gave me one too, because I'm doing something I really enjoy.
Here's a change-up because of the wind. I guess the Stampeders want the ball at the 35 and don't want a kickoff. As well as they return them, you think they'd want every opportunity to do that, but they want the field position guaranteed from the 35, and they just move it up past the 45 on the pass to Tony Spallettini.
Dave, in both situations here offensively, we're seeing both quarterbacks use their personnel, not simply focus on one of their players or their big hitters, but not be afraid to throw to the running backs coming out of the backfield if the defense is giving it exactly what they're taking. Seeing it on both sides of the ball, and I think that's why we're seeing the ball go up and down the field, because the quarterbacks are showing some patience, making the right reads, and not getting greedy.
Possibility exists that Hamilton clinches a playoff spot today. The Ticats have to win here and get some help from the Winnipeg Blue Bombers.
Well, that's what you call slamming the door on defense. Cherry looks to cut back, and he was met by Corbin. Well, there's just too many of them to point out that there was a host of black jerseys. Sees the movement to the one way, and now it's going to come back, and he reads it. 77 Covington was in there, Giftopoulos, you name them, they were there.
Couple of yards for Cherry. The ball at the 49 of the Stampeders, 2nd and 8. Barrett again, well protected, and Beals has a catch near the 35 of the Hamilton Ticats for Sean Beals.
One thing I was impressed about with Beals is when he first got into the lineup, he was very effective and liked to come over. And once again, we're seeing him come over the middle. Huge opening. Floyd Salazar getting tripped up by the referee, but they were going to catch the ball anyways.
His first catch is a big one. Sean Beals gives the Stampeders a first down at the Hamilton 36. Straight ahead for Tony Spallettini, and he goes to the 30.
Spallettini, the ball carrier. Dennis making the tackle.
I think we're definitely seeing the fullback position of the Stampeders being utilized more in the last few games.
Interesting with the emphasis on running in this game by both teams, that both teams have suffered injuries there. McVeigh sitting it out while Spallettini plays, and Derek McAdoo has been hampered for Hamilton, leaving Ernie Schrameyer in the spotlight. 2nd and 4, Barrett will throw. Pitts fumbles the ball, and the Cats have it, and another turnover hurts the Stampeders, depriving them of a scoring drive. To make the catch,
well,
that he couldn't hold it.
Nice soft hands coming over the middle. The ball's got lots of zip on it. He just snares and pulls it in. But Dawson strips him. That's intentional. That's just not bad luck. Dawson just playing heads up. He's got him with his left arm. He swings around from the backside and pops the ball loose. That's just a great defensive play.
Western Canada welcomes you to this afternoon's game to cheer on the Cats.
Play resumes with Kerrigan down and a flag as well. Holding Hamilton. Stampeders will decline because of the loss.
Penalty marker on the play.
Holding, 60 in Hamilton, decline. 2nd down.
Mike Dirks, and that's one of the few times that the Stampeders have really been able to get to Kerrigan on a deep drop and force him quickly and then get him down.
Ball back at the 8-yard line. Dangerous territory for Kerrigan if he's throwing, and you'd think he will be. 2nd and 14 yards to go. That's how dangerous it is. Thurman, or it's McCrary pitching the ball out. David McCrary with the interception. Ron Hopkins winds up with it, and it's at the 20-yard line. Turnovers swinging the other way.
Well, McCrary has the luxury here of dropping straight back on the read, and Kerrigan's going to try to put it right where he's trying to put it, but he doesn't see McCrary. And the ball, I'd say, was a little bit underthrown. A little bit of a rugby play there. And
turnovers mounting. They really hurt Hamilton in the first half. Then Calgary in the second half. Now in the fourth quarter, both teams hurt by the turnovers. One each. Barrett just lazily running and waiting for somebody to get open, and he's got him. Crawford with the first down catch inside the 10.
He's pretty comfortable sprinting out there. The reason I don't think he wanted to go into a full sprint is because he's in better control and being able to throw the ball if he isn't running hard. He had great protection along both the point on the line of scrimmage and in the back door. No one was going to hit him. He just had to wait for Crawford to get to that point and come back and give him a target.
First and goal from the 8-yard line. Less than 10 minutes to go. Barrett still got it. He scored on this earlier. He'll do it again. Danny Barrett for the touchdown.
Barrett, the ball carrier.
Did he not get in?
Well, I don't think that was a touchdown spike. I think that was a frustration spike.
Well, surely he's in. He thinks so. I think so.
Well, but neither one of those count.
Not a bit.
Again, that fake up the middle, this time to Spallettini. Watch it. Defense steps inside. Corbin goes for it. Lorenz hustles. Right. Well, he splits that cone.
Flip a coin, take your pick. It's up to the Stampeders to make sure that it doesn't matter. Cherry a fourth time? No, Barrett, he wants the touchdown. And he's got it. I think he had it earlier, but that makes it 41-34 with a convert for an 8-point Calgary lead. And the David McCrary interception is a big play. Here we go with flags and fights.
Well, the quarters get kind of tight in the short yardage play, especially down near the goal line. And the whole idea of this game is to be aggressive and try to knock your opponent back. Just sometimes it gets out of hand. Hopefully it's not going to get any worse than a couple of flags. So they're still talking away.
And it's the quarterback who is involved, and the Stampeders can't stay away too long when that's the case. Tim Lorenz. And Lorenz isn't backing off. Barrett is being helped to the side by Alan Pitts. And you did see other flags fly. He spikes it one more time. Lorenz has to be restrained by his Hamilton mates.
Well, Covington stepping in and saying, look, there's plenty of time. Almost 9 minutes. Don't blow it now. We can come back.
Well, they're going to throw at least one of the flags on Hamilton. David Beckman was very outspoken with us prior to the game about his players getting involved like this, as they did in his coaching debut, his head coaching debut at the Sky Dome in Toronto. Said he has no place for it. But the Tiger Cats are making it part of his tenure here, it seems.
Well, you don't think about it this way, but it becomes a very selfish act. It's now a one-on-one confrontation where you want to hit someone or take a shot, but it affects, 34, 36 other guys, and you have to be able to temper that.
Major foul, face mask, number 8 Calgary, ejection of conduct, 38 Hamilton. Penalties will be applied on the kickoff.
Officiating supervisor Don Barker, and with his glasses just on to Don's left is the commissioner Don Crump. Well, why Danny Barrett wants to pull anybody's face mask, I don't know. It usually works the other way around when you've got the ball. So here's Mark McLaughlin's convert after all of that, and it's good, and it's an 8-point Stampeder lead with 8:50 to play. Calgary 42, Hamilton 34. Again, you got to think about getting something here if you're Calgary. Do not turn the ball over, but score something. And that's as safe a play as you can find. And he holds on to the ball, that is. Cherry's got more yards rushing, and it's 3rd down, and I think they'll kick a field goal here.
Covington and Robertson on the tackle.
Passing situation called the draw. Good cut and a block. 61 Tom Spallettini turns the nose guard out. Cherry reads that and just runs that little curve up down the pipe.
Should be easy for McLaughlin from 10 yards away. The Ticats have to try and block this any way they can. They don't. Block it, that is. McLaughlin adds to the lead. It's 11 points now, and with 4:06 to go, Ticats have to score twice. Winfield is taken down. Good coverage by the Stampeders' Darcy Kopp. And that's the first kickoff we've seen that didn't go past the 40-yard line that I can remember in this game. The quarterback story in this game. Kerrigan is well ahead in yardage in every category, really, including interceptions, which he doesn't like. But Danny Barrett has controlled the Calgary offense effectively with a lot of help from special teams, giving him good field position, and lately help from the defense turning the ball over. Champion, and this is still a game. Tony Champion all the way, touchdown. What a great pass from Kerrigan and catch by Champion. 75 yards for a Hamilton touchdown.
Holy smokes, does Kerrigan drop this ball? He releases to the outside, and that quick move to the inside springs him free. There's no time for McCrary to come over top and cut it off because Champion has made his move and the ball's gone. They just cut down the time of the play by getting the ball in the air sooner than I think he would have normally.
I think we'll see a 2-point convert here as the Tiger Cats try to get within 3. Kerrigan is still in the game. Winfield has to hurry back into a huddle. 3:35 to go. It's 45-40. And if they can convert this, it's 45-42. Estelle has got it. 2 points, 45-42 in favor of the Stampeders. There was a penalty flag thrown against Calgary. Estelle caught it anyway.
Forward pass interference. Calgary number 3. Decline.
It's close quarters, and it ends up being the guy who wants and gets the better jump on it. And this time it's Estelle, and this is an aggressive a catch, as you're going to see. Certainly didn't take very long.
87 points in the game. Number 87 has the last touchdown.
What a great throw. Right on the button, wide enough so McCrary, as I said, couldn't get over in reality when it was thrown.
Second touchdown catch for Tony Champion over Ron Hopkins. Hopkins was doing a great job for a while, but it's pretty hard to hold this guy off forever, and the Ticats just keep going to him, and Tony Champion usually delivers. Stampeders take a kickoff this time instead of the scrimmage at the 35. I guess they would after a touchdown. Remembering the field goal option, but here's Calgary at midfield.
Well, that's because they're scoring using everything. Well, if you want to know how quickly a team like Hamilton can answer, and you've got those abilities.
With that kind of a return and that kickoff does make me wonder again why they scrimmaged at the 35 early. I'll get that thought right out of my head and get back to the game. 3:24 to go and the clock is moving. With the ball at midfield and the Stampeders up by 3. Barrett completes to Spolatini, takes the Ticat defender on, head on. That's Sonny Gordon. Good gain by Spolatini on first down. Second down and about 3. With 3 minutes to go in a high-scoring, close game. Second down. Little over 3 yards to go for a Calgary first down. Scored on this once, made a good gain another time, and appears to have a first down this time.
Hamilton reacting a little bit better, but Barrett doesn't get this first down or even close without Kevin Powell, number 50. Kevin Powell, in effect, will block 2 people downfield. There he is right here.
Well, this has been a very safe play for the Stampeders all day. The Tiger Cats just haven't come close to stopping it. Stamps have scored once with it, set up another touchdown with it, and got a key first down that time. Here they go, first down from the 44. Cherry, a big star in this game for the Stampeders. Not much this time as he's tripped up on the play by Bobby Dawson.
Well, Hamilton defense right now has gone into a 30 with 3 down. So if those linebackers or those back 4 people, even if it's a rush end, are spreading out, it's going to be tough to or toss on that.
Play clock is down to 8, 7, 6. Barrett will use all of it. Big catch by Beals. Sean Beals, and he runs over a tackler to the 15-yard line. He's made 2 catches in this game, and both of them have been important ones.
An exceptional pass by Barrett. He's got to get it in there before Bob Dawson, 27. See how the influence? You look to one way and come back. Dawson, there he is coming across. Beals gears down just enough, and he doesn't get fancy. Put the ball away and take on the contact. This is not when you want to start dancing around and expose the ball to get stripped. We'll strip the ball on you.
Under 2 minutes now, 1:40, and the Stamps have at least 3 more plays. Barrett's going to throw it? No, I don't think so. He'll protect the ball and take no gain at the 15, 1:33 to go. Surprised me that even dropped back to pass. I don't know if he intended to initially or not, but...
Well, he'll be very cautious, I think, in any situation. Right here, Hamilton blitzes Bob Dawson from the short side of the field, so he's got coverage. But again, I don't think he's going to try to throw it unless he's confident that where he's throwing it to, there's one chance of one guy catching it. Otherwise, pull it down and save yourself.
Well, we talked about the Danny Barrett run, the fake and roll to the right. He's going to drop back and look to throw this time to the end zone, and oh boy, they almost picked that one off. To go, and it stops the clock, does the incompletion.
Combination of Wilkerson in the corner, and again Dawson trying to throw in between this seam. The short coverage is by the corner Wilkerson, and when the ball's thrown, he leaves that short zone and drops deep.
McLaughlin kicks a field goal, and now it's going to take a touchdown to beat the Stampeders, where a moment ago a field goal could have tied them with 1:04 to go. But that's still a fair bit of time, and the Stampeders leave that much time on the clock by their decision to throw on second down. Winfield with a catch, out of bounds to stop the clock. 32-yard line, 31 seconds to go.
The wideouts of the Ticats are going to get that type of room to move initially on the snap of the ball. What the corners for Calgary don't want is to be snug up tight and in effect get a chance to be beaten one-on-one deep. You got to respect them somewhat.
From the 32-yard line. Kerrigan outside on a bounce to Winfield, and he can't catch that one. Clock stopped, 27 seconds left.
Plenty of time.
Well, they won't run out of time. They have to hope they don't run out of downs. What? Stampeders are bringing Henry Smith back in. The official, Ken Lazarick, wanting to make sure that it wasn't Matt Finley who was coming in, because he had to stay out for 3 plays, remember. 2nd and 10 from the Winfield over the middle. He's got it inside the 20 with 22 seconds left. Seems the line of scrimmage and the time remaining just are staying parallel here. And the Ticats would like that to go right to the end. No time left, no yards to get, because they're in the end zone.
That Calgary defense is back to the starting group with Finley back in.
Whistle goes, ball is snapped right away. Champion on Hopkins, and he'll take him outside at the 10 with 14 seconds left. Well, here we go. 1st and goal. Hamilton with 14 seconds left.
Again, Champion runs it and then breaks it off. Hopkins has got to come up now, but Hopkins, when he does this, and be under control, because if Hopkins misses him, Champion scores. Good solid tackle, and again, heads up by Champion. If you're not going to break the tackle, get out of bounds.
9 yards away from a touchdown that would tie it and a convert that could win it. A blitz. Kerrigan throws. Ball is dropped by Richard Estelle at the 2-yard line with 11 seconds left.
This is the way it's supposed to be.
Right to the wire. 2nd and goal from the 9. The clock starts when the ball is snapped. Oh, what a bad pass that was. He could have had that intercepted by Thurman. Winfield was cutting in but couldn't get position on Thurman.
What a great play by Thurman. Winfield hurt Ottawa last week with this same type of play. Quick post pattern, and Kerrigan leads him. But Thurman makes the read and jumps in front this time, not letting Winfield have position. That's a heck of a defensive play, especially considering the situation. And down now is Hopkins. He turned, something happened to him in the end zone, on the backside of the play.
Is this Colorado, Missouri I'm watching? That was 3rd down. Oh, I missed a play somewhere. Tony Champion taking the pass on 1st down. I guess, yeah, was pushed out. Well, that was, I thought that was, I'm a little confused.
Well, if there is any concern, they certainly got plenty of time to figure it out.
Reminder to stop by those Tiger Cat souvenir stands on the way out.
This is a strange injury to the backside.
Ball was at the 22, and then the ball was at the 9. And then we've seen 2 incompletions from the 9, haven't we?
Saw a pass to Estelle that was knocked down. The one to Champion.
Where did the one to Tony Champion come from? inside the 20. All right, they didn't get a first down on the pass to Champion. Then the Estelle was incomplete. All right. We assumed a first down on the completion to Champion, and then we shouldn't have done that. Then Estelle incompletion, then the incompletion in the end zone. So this isn't the Twilight Zone. After all, it is a Stampeder victory with 7 seconds to go. A little hectic at the end. The Ticats come close, and with one snap of the ball, the Stampeders will walk out of here with a victory in a wild one.
You can't ask for much more as far as excitement. You've had it all on special teams, big plays, and I think Hamilton has showed if they had to turn a corner, they're turning the corner, and the man leading the way is Dave Beckman.
Calgary wins it. The Stampeders right now are first in the West.